Every form of life suffers. Mama and little baby deer thing are just going for a stroll in the woods, and they get ambushed by a lioness. Of course, it's a lion, like some kind of safari in Africa. Boom. I'm not gonna play the audio. I don't need to feed you the audio, but you know, little Bambi here is making some noises that you probably don't want. This is life. Life includes pain. It's just a grim reality of, the universe, man. Whatever it is you wanna call it. Shit comes and goes. Dinosaurs dealt with some serious pain when the fucking asteroid hit the Earth, right? Wiped them all out clean. Every form of life suffers. You're not unique, you're not special, you're not, some kinda like leprechaun, rainbows and butterflies, special breed of whatever. You're like anything else on this earth. You're alive, you breathe the air. At some point, we all wrap up. Every human is gonna suffer. Every human experiences obstacles. One of the things that, I don't know if it's my granddad or my dad that told me this first, but it might have come vis-a-vis my granddad, down on my dad, but he always said something along the lines of, "There's always somebody out there that would be happy to trade places with you." So, doesn't matter what you're moping about, what you think you've got pain in, whatever it is it might be, making your day, your week, your month, your year shit, or whatever it is you wanna call it. I guarantee there's not just one, there's probably not a dozen, there's probably not 100, there's probably not 1,000, but probably tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of people that would trade their shitty life, their worse off circumstances for whatever it is that you're complaining about right now. So perspective is an important thing to consider here. Again, every human experiences obstacles and suffering. Um, One of the grand mistakes that I hear a lot of people make is they seem to think that life is against yours, trying to sabotage your happiness. There was a three-letter acronym that was used a lot. I don't see it too much anymore, but it was used a lot maybe 10, 15 years ago. FML, which stood for F my life, right? Something bad would happen, pain would come your way, suffering, something didn't go well, FML. That was like an abbreviated text form that got sent around all the time. And it's like, the crowd that's like, "Oh, God is against me. Fuck my life." Life really isn't trying to sabotage anything for you. Realistically, more often than not, a lot of the how can I put this without hurting too many snowflakes? It's probably your fault. I'm just gonna say it. I mean, you, the vast majority of problems that you're dealing with your life, it's probably your fault. Okay. There's rare circumstances where it's not your fault, where you end up dealing with some shit, and it's like, okay, that one wasn't I have 30 burns, like, on my chest here. This happened when I was a toddler. I was, like, a year and a half, pulled a kettle of hot water on myself, you know? I don't have any memory of it, thankfully. That wasn't my fault, I'll admit that, but pretty much everything beyond that point, when you have consciousness, when you have memory, when you have some decision-making capacity, if you're a 10-year-old and you're ripping, um so my first skateboard. So, this is a great story because my parents have a picture of me on their wall with these three scars down my face, forehead, and like slashes down my nose. Because when I got my first skateboard, I don't know, I think it was grade 5 or something like that. But they have like literally the school picture because I did it 3 days before the school picture happened. So the class picture and like the headshot, there I am with the big scars on my face. And I was on my knee and I was pushing up the driveway and I hit a rock and I went flying over the skateboard and smashed my face into the ground. That was my fault. It's not my parents' fault for not sweeping the driveway clear of stones. That was a lesson that I needed to learn. Pretty much everything we do in our life, when we deal with chaos, when we deal with pain, when we deal with something that doesn't go our way, it's our fault. And you can either learn from it or you can lose. You can just sit there and complain about it. Just trying to cross off some of these talking points that I made here for today. Yeah, so your mind is one of your biggest obstacles too, to be honest with you, because I don't I don't know how many movies I've seen this used in, but it's an old story about the wolf of light and the wolf of darkness, right? And the question goes, um which one wins in combat, essentially, the wolf of light or the wolf of darkness? And the answer to the question is always whichever one you feed, right? So a lot of the times, chaos, problem, pain, something that comes your way, it's usually a result of, like, which side are you leaning on? Like, are you leaning on greatness? Are you leaning on achievement? Are you leaning on ownership? Are you leaning on winning? Or are you leaning on being a victim, being a little bitch about it, crying, pointing and sputtering at other people and blaming them, for things? Your mind's usually your biggest obstacle. To be honest with you, pretty much everything that you get in your life, all your accomplishments, all your failures, everything pretty much relies on you. There's a lot of people out there today that are blaming the government, their boss, their spouse, their whatever. You know, if it's your boss, well, you chose to work there. You're the one that applied for the job. If it's your spouse, well, you're the one that chose them. Men are the gatekeepers of relationships. You're the guy. It's mostly dudes watching my channel. You're the guy. You made the decision to invite her into your life, right? Government. Well, you can always pick up and move and leave. If you don't like the situation that you're in, right? So use your mind for more productive things. Find solutions. I'm going to talk a little bit more about choosing a lot of the stuff that comes your way when it comes to pain and suffering. Another point that I wanted to make is making mountains out of molehills. Right, a lot of dudes will make big deals out of small things, and I think there's a little bit of a difference with the sexes. Sometimes guys do it more than women, but I think overall, uh, the weaker, softer folks out there, because there's weak and soft men too, if we're being honest. You know, I'm a victim. Oh, is complaining, like zero stuff, right? Like zero sum game stuff, making mountains out of molehills when things don't really need to matter that much. It happens. It happens. A lot of people do it, and it's unnecessary. Making a big deal out of nothing. Make a big deal out of something. Make a big deal out of something that is going to complicate your life. If somebody you know, puts your life, puts your momentum, puts your business in danger, okay, make a mountain out of that, if you need to, right? Learn how to walk away, identify problem areas, identify problem people. You get better at it as you get older. You're gonna make some mistakes. You're gonna invite some dipshits in your life, maybe in your 20s, probably into your 30s, maybe even into your 40s. You're probably gonna deal with some low value women that are going to complicate your life unnecessarily, definitely in your 20s, maybe in your 30s, probably even some of you into your 40s. I mean, the whole reason why I wrote my book, The Unplugged Alpha, and I put the chapter in there with the 20 red flags to help you guys avoid that stuff. So you're not going to invite pain into your life, which some people like to amplify into suffering. Again, pain is going to be mandatory. Suffering is an option. You don't have to suffer if you don't want to. I really hope you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the full length podcast, you can find that over here, that clip's from. If you're newer to the channel, make sure you hit subscribe over here and pin down below in the top comment. You'll find a bunch of useful links to my website, my supplement line, books, and a bunch of other stuff. Have an amazing day. Peace out.